Deep in the heart of a secluded forest, shrouded in mist and mystery, stood an old mansion known only as Hollow Manor. Legends whispered of its dark past, and the locals dared not speak its name after sundown. Some said it was cursed, haunted by the spirits of those who had met tragic ends within its walls. Few had braved the journey to Hollow Manor, and fewer still had returned to share their tales. The secrets hidden behind its rusted gates beckoned to the curious and the brave, and one fateful night, a group of friends decided to unlock the mysteries of the manor. The group consisted of 5 intrepid souls: Alex, the adventurous leader; Sarah, the skeptic who believed in science over superstition; Jake, the thrill-seeker always chasing the next adrenaline rush; Emily, the quiet and observant one; and Mark, the joker who used humor to mask his fears. As they approached the imposing structure, the air grew thick with an unsettling stillness. The moon cast an eerie glow on the mansion, revealing windows that seemed to stare back with vacant eyes. The friends hesitated at the entrance, the creaking gates inviting them into the unknown. Little did they know that Hollow Manor held secrets darker than their wildest nightmares, and that once they crossed the threshold, there would be no turning back. As the group of friends hesitated at the entrance, a chill wind whispered through the trees, urging them forward. Alex, the leader of the group, took a deep breath and stepped through the creaking gates, the others following closely behind. The atmosphere within the manor's grounds seemed to shift, as though the very air held its breath in anticipation. The grand entrance loomed before them, its double doors slightly ajar. Alex, undeterred, pushed the doors open, revealing a dimly lit foyer. The air inside was heavy with the scent of dust and decay. A shiver ran down their spines as the doors creaked shut behind them, seemingly of their own accord. The interior was a labyrinth of forgotten corridors and abandoned rooms, each one cloaked in shadows. Flickering candlelight played tricks on their senses, casting dancing shadows that seemed to move independently of any light source. It was as if the house itself was alive, watching their every move. As the group ventured deeper, they stumbled upon a room that seemed untouched by time. The furniture, draped in dusty sheets, hinted at a forgotten elegance. A grand piano sat in the corner, its keys seemingly untouched for years. Mark, the joker of the group, couldn't resist the temptation. He approached the piano, running his fingers over the keys. A haunting melody echoed through the silent halls as the ancient instrument responded to his touch. The friends exchanged uneasy glances, feeling the weight of the music reverberate through their very souls. Suddenly, the piano keys came to a jarring halt. The room fell into an oppressive silence, broken only by the distant sound of a door creaking open. The friends exchanged nervous glances, unsure of whether it was their imagination or something more sinister at play. Alex, determined to unravel the mysteries of Hollow Manor, led the group towards the source of the sound. They found themselves standing before a narrow staircase that descended into darkness. The air grew colder as they descended, and a foreboding presence settled around them like a suffocating fog. At the bottom of the stairs, they discovered a hidden passage leading to a subterranean chamber. The walls were adorned with strange symbols, and the air was thick with an otherworldly energy. In the center of the room stood an ancient altar, and as they approached, the room seemed to pulse with an unnatural heartbeat. It was then that they heard a distant whisper, a spectral voice that echoed through the chamber. The voice spoke of a tragic tale, of a family that had once called Hollow Manor home. As the narrative unfolded, the friends realized they were not alone in the depths of the haunted house. A figure emerged from the shadows, a man in tattered clothing, his eyes hollow and filled with a sorrowful longing. He beckoned them closer, his voice a mournful melody that echoed in the chamber. The friends were torn between fear and curiosity as they approached the ghostly figure, unaware that they were about to become entangled in the dark secrets that had plagued Hollow Manor for centuries. The ghostly figure extended a spectral hand, and as Alex hesitated, Mark, always the impulsive one, reached out to touch it. The moment his fingers made contact, a surge of energy passed through him, sending a shiver down his spine. The room vibrated with an otherworldly force, and the symbols on the walls seemed to come alive, pulsating in an ethereal dance. The ghostly man's voice grew stronger, weaving a tale of betrayal and tragedy that had bound him to the mansion's depths. He spoke of a cursed family, their dark rituals, and the malevolent force that had claimed them all. The friends were ensnared by the haunting narrative, unable to tear themselves away. As the story unfolded, the man pointed towards a hidden door at the far end of the chamber. With an ethereal glow, it slowly creaked open, revealing a passage leading even deeper into the bowels of the house. The friends, now compelled by an unseen force, followed the ghostly figure into the unknown. The corridors twisted and turned, their surroundings growing more claustrophobic with each step. The air became colder, and distant whispers echoed through the narrow passages. The ghostly man guided them to a chamber adorned with strange symbols and flickering candlelight. In the center lay an ancient book, its pages filled with forbidden knowledge. With an unseen hand, the book opened to a page that depicted a ritual that, if completed, could break the curse that bound the ghostly figure and the tortured spirits of Hollow Manor. The friends, caught in the grip of the supernatural, found themselves compelled to carry out the ritual, their fates entwined with the very forces they sought to appease. As they began the ritual, the atmosphere in the chamber changed. Shadows danced on the walls, and a malevolent energy permeated the air. The ghostly man's form wavered, his voice growing more desperate as the ritual neared its climax. Unbeknownst to the friends, the very fabric of reality within Hollow Manor began to unravel. Suddenly, the ground shook, and the walls seemed to close in. The once still air became a tempest, swirling around them with an otherworldly force. The friends, now realizing the gravity of their actions, attempted to halt the ritual, but it was too late. With a deafening roar, the ancient curse erupted, unleashing a torrent of supernatural energy that tore through the mansion. The friends were engulfed in a blinding light, their screams drowned out by the cacophony of the unleashed spirits. Hollow Manor seemed to come alive, its walls groaning under the weight of centuries-old agony. When the light finally subsided, the friends found themselves scattered throughout the mansion, each in a different part of the vast and labyrinthine structure. The ghostly figure was nowhere to be seen, and the air was thick with a heavy silence. The once decrepit mansion now seemed more alive than ever, pulsating with an unsettling energy. As they struggled to find each other and make sense of the chaos they had unleashed, the friends soon realized that the curse of Hollow Manor was far from broken. Instead, it had evolved into something far more insidious, and the secrets of the horror house were now intertwined with their own fates. The darkness within the mansion hungered for more, and the friends, unwittingly bound to its malevolence, had become mere pawns in a supernatural game that transcended time and space. The friends, disoriented and separated within the labyrinthine corridors of Hollow Manor, stumbled through the shifting shadows and dimly lit passages. Each step echoed with an eerie resonance, and the air seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. As they navigated the haunted halls, strange whispers filled their ears, whispers that seemed to be both distant and uncomfortably close. Alex, determined to reunite the group and uncover the truth behind the evolving curse, pressed on through the winding passages. Meanwhile, Sarah, the skeptic who had always relied on reason, felt a growing unease seeping into her thoughts. The boundary between the rational world and the supernatural realm blurred, and doubts crept into her mind like tendrils of darkness. Emily, the quiet observer, caught glimpses of spectral figures out of the corner of her eye. Shadows moved independently, taking on shapes that defied the laws of reality. Jake, the thrill-seeker, felt a strange exhilaration in the face of the supernatural. He embraced the chaos, drawn to the enigmatic forces that now held sway over Hollow Manor. Mark, however, began to experience a series of disturbing visions. Images of the cursed family's tragic past flashed before his eyes, betrayals, rituals gone awry, and the anguished faces of those who had suffered within these haunted walls. The boundaries between past and present, reality and nightmare, became increasingly difficult to discern. The friends' paths eventually converged in a vast chamber, the epicenter of the mansion's newfound malevolence. The air was thick with an oppressive energy, and the symbols on the walls glowed ominously. In the center of the room stood the ancient book, now open to a page that revealed the consequences of the incomplete ritual. As they read the ominous passages, the ghostly figure reappeared, his form wavering in and out of existence. He spoke of a curse that had transcended time, a curse that now bound the friends to the ever-shifting fate of Hollow Manor. The incomplete ritual had not broken the curse but had instead woven their destinies into the fabric of the supernatural. The friends, realizing the magnitude of their predicament, attempted to reverse the ritual, to undo the dark forces they had unwittingly unleashed. Yet, with each incantation and desperate plea, the curse resisted their efforts, mocking their feeble attempts to defy its ancient power. As the ritual reached its climax, the very walls of Hollow Manor seemed to breathe. The friends felt an invisible force pulling them into an otherworldly vortex, a dimension where time and space twisted in unnatural ways. The boundaries between their individual existences blurred, and they glimpsed fragments of each other's pasts and futures. When the ritual concluded, the friends found themselves back in the chamber, but the mansion had undergone a ghastly transformation. The once familiar corridors now led to nightmarish realms, where the laws of reality bent to the whims of the supernatural. The ghostly figure, now a mere echo of his former self, uttered a cryptic warning: "You are bound to the eternal dance of Hollow Manor, where every step echoes through the corridors of time." As the friends attempted to navigate the twisted dimensions of the haunted house, they realized that they were trapped not only within its walls but also within the intricate web of a curse that defied comprehension. The horror of Hollow Manor had transcended the physical and entered the realm of cosmic nightmares, and the friends were condemned to wander its shifting corridors for all eternity. Time lost its meaning within the ever-shifting confines of Hollow Manor. The friends wandered through surreal landscapes that defied the laws of nature, encountering phantasmal echoes of their own fears and desires. The mansion seemed to feed on their emotions, twisting reality to manifest their deepest nightmares. In one corridor, Sarah found herself pursued by shadowy figures that mirrored her skepticism, each whispering doubts and insecurities that clawed at the edges of her rational mind. Emily, usually reserved, was confronted by apparitions of her past, unresolved memories dancing in the air like ethereal specters. As they navigated the otherworldly maze, Mark's visions intensified. He saw glimpses of possible futures, each more horrifying than the last, all converging towards a singular, inevitable fate. Jake, the thrill-seeker, faced manifestations of his own recklessness, the ghostly remnants of daring escapades twisted into grotesque parodies. Alex, the once bold leader, struggled to maintain a semblance of control. The weight of responsibility for leading his friends into this supernatural abyss bore down on him, and the very architecture of Hollow Manor seemed to conspire against his attempts to guide them to safety. The ghostly figure, a mere specter in this surreal landscape, appeared intermittently, offering cryptic advice and warnings. "To break the curse, you must confront the echoes of your own choices," he whispered, his voice carrying on the ethereal winds that swept through the haunted halls. As they ventured deeper, the boundaries between the dimensions within Hollow Manor continued to blur. They encountered doorways that led to alternate realities, each one more nightmarish than the last. Time became a fractured mosaic, and the friends found themselves slipping through moments of the past, present, and future like phantoms lost in a cosmic dance. In one harrowing sequence, they witnessed the tragic events that had befallen the cursed family, the betrayals, the rituals gone awry, and the spiraling descent into madness. The mansion itself seemed to absorb and amplify the pain and suffering of those who had once called it home, the very essence of their torment now woven into the fabric of the cursed estate. Amid the twisted dimensions and haunted echoes, the friends began to realize that the only way to break free from Hollow Manor's malevolent grip was to confront the darkest aspects of themselves. Each member of the group had to face their own fears, regrets, and the consequences of their choices, navigating the nightmarish landscapes of the mansion's alternate realities. Yet, as they delved deeper into the cosmic nightmare, it became evident that the curse was not just a manifestation of the house, it was a reflection of their own intertwined destinies. The line between cause and effect blurred, and the friends found themselves caught in a cyclic dance, reliving their own tragedies and betrayals in an unending loop. As the boundaries between the dimensions continued to crumble, the friends faced a pivotal choice: to confront the mirror of their own souls and break the curse, or succumb to the eternal dance within the shifting corridors of Hollow Manor. The friends, confronted with the stark reality of their intertwined destinies, knew that they had to delve deeper into the heart of the cursed mansion. The ghostly figure, appearing before them like a wraith, guided them to a chamber veiled in shadows, an ominous gateway to the core of the curse. As they entered the chamber, the air grew heavy with anticipation. In the center stood an ancient mirror, its surface reflecting not the physical appearances of the friends, but the ethereal manifestations of their inner struggles and conflicts. The mirror seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, beckoning them to confront the very essence of their fears and desires. Mark, haunted by visions of impending doom, hesitated before the mirror. His reflection showed him glimpses of the myriad paths his life could take, each one darker than the last. The visions twisted and contorted, revealing the consequences of choices both made and yet to be made. Sarah, the skeptic, saw her reflection shatter into countless fragments, each piece a manifestation of doubt and disbelief. The fractured images whispered doubts that she had long buried, challenging the foundations of her logical mind. She felt the boundaries between the rational and the supernatural blur, and the very fabric of reality seemed to unravel. Emily, usually silent and observant, faced apparitions of her past, moments of joy and sorrow, missed opportunities, and unresolved relationships. The mirror revealed the emotional scars she had hidden beneath a stoic exterior, laying bare the vulnerabilities she had long tried to conceal. Jake, the thrill-seeker, saw his reflection morph into monstrous forms, embodiments of the risks he had taken without considering the consequences. The mirror forced him to confront the shadows of his own recklessness, the adrenaline-fueled escapades that had led them all to this nightmarish juncture. Alex, burdened by the weight of leadership, witnessed the spectral forms of his decisions, both triumphs and failures. The mirror reflected the consequences of his choices on the fates of his friends, intertwining their destinies in a complex tapestry of intertwined existence. The ghostly figure, his form wavering between the living and the ethereal, spoke in a voice that echoed through the chamber. To break the curse, you must face the echoes of your own choices, the shadows that bind you to this eternal dance. Confront the deepest recesses of your souls, for within them lies the key to liberation. With a collective breath, the friends stepped forward, each one determined to confront their own reflection and unravel the threads of the curse. The mirror enveloped them in a blinding light, and the chamber echoed with a symphony of whispers and haunting melodies. As the visions played out, the very fabric of Hollow Manor seemed to respond. The walls trembled, and the dimensions within the mansion convulsed in a cosmic upheaval. The friends felt the weight of their choices lift, and the ethereal dance that had bound them began to unravel. Yet, just as they believed the curse was breaking, the mansion itself seemed to resist. The spectral figure, once a guide, now writhed in agony, caught in the maelstrom of the unraveling curse. The friends realized that to truly break free, they had to confront the source of the curse, a malevolent force that had taken root within the very heart of Hollow Manor. The ghostly figure, with a final, haunting plea, urged them to go deeper, to face the ancient malevolence that pulsed at the core of the mansion. The friends, now united in their purpose, ventured into the darkest depths of Hollow Manor, where the true source of the curse awaited them, an entity of ancient darkness that hungered for their very souls. The friends descended further into the bowels of Hollow Manor, the air thick with anticipation and the haunting echoes of their footsteps reverberating through the shadowy corridors. Each step brought them closer to the heart of the ancient malevolence that pulsed within the mansion's depths, the very core of the supernatural forces that ensnared them. As they navigated through twisting passages and hidden chambers, the atmosphere became charged with an eerie energy. Flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows on the walls, and the temperature seemed to plummet with each passing moment. The friends could sense the malevolent entity's presence growing stronger, an invisible force that toyed with their senses. Suddenly, they found themselves in a vast chamber, the epicenter of the supernatural storm. The walls were adorned with ancient symbols that seemed to writhe with a life of their own. A ghastly glow emanated from the center of the room, where a swirling vortex of darkness awaited. The friends exchanged anxious glances, their nerves electrified with a mix of fear and exhilaration. The ghostly figure, now barely visible amidst the spectral energies, whispered, "This is where the curse took root, a nexus of ancient darkness. Confront it, and you may break free from its grasp." His voice carried a spectral urgency that spurred the friends into action. As they approached the vortex, the very fabric of reality seemed to warp and twist. The air crackled with unseen forces, and the friends felt a surge of adrenaline as they braced themselves for the final confrontation. Shadows danced wildly around them, and whispers echoed through the chamber, a symphony of malevolence that fueled their determination. Mark, usually the joker of the group, felt a chill run down his spine. The visions that had haunted him now coalesced into a nightmarish tableau, a tapestry of his own fears and regrets. Yet, a newfound courage surged within him, a defiant spark that turned his fear into a weapon against the encroaching darkness. Sarah, the skeptic, felt a surreal tension building in the air. The boundaries between the natural and the supernatural seemed to blur, challenging the very foundation of her rational beliefs. A thrill of uncertainty coursed through her, and with a determined expression, she stepped forward, ready to face the inexplicable. Emily, always the quiet observer, found herself attuned to the subtle shifts in the energies around them. Her senses heightened, she could feel the pulse of the malevolent entity, a dark heartbeat that resonated through the very walls of the mansion. Her quiet resolve spoke louder than words as she prepared to confront the ancient force. Jake, the thrill-seeker, grinned with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The unknown beckoned him, and the adrenaline that surged through his veins was a potent elixir. He cracked his knuckles, his eyes alight with the thrill of facing the supernatural head-on. Alex, the leader burdened by the weight of responsibility, steeled himself for the ultimate challenge. The swirling vortex before him seemed to draw upon the echoes of his choices, both triumphant and tragic. Determination etched across his face, he stepped into the heart of the malevolence, ready to confront the entity that had ensnared them all. As the friends entered the swirling vortex, the very fabric of reality seemed to unravel. The chamber echoed with a crescendo of spectral energies, and the malevolent force manifested before them, a shadowy entity that hungered for their very souls. The thrill of the unknown merged with the palpable tension, creating a symphony of fear and excitement that echoed through the haunted corridors of Hollow Manor. Within the heart of the swirling vortex, the friends faced the ancient malevolence that had ensnared Hollow Manor for centuries. The shadowy entity writhed and contorted, a manifestation of darkness that hungered for the essence of their souls. The very air pulsed with an otherworldly energy as the final confrontation unfolded. As the friends stood united, a surge of collective determination emanated from within them. The ghostly figure, now a mere echo within the cosmic tempest, whispered words of encouragement that reverberated through the chamber. You carry the power to break free from the eternal dance. Confront the shadows within, and let the echoes of your choices shatter the chains that bind you. Mark, drawing upon his newfound courage, faced the manifestations of his fears head-on. With a resolute gaze, he confronted the twisted reflections of his choices, each one a stepping stone toward liberation. Sarah, the skeptic, embraced the uncertainty that surrounded her, challenging the very foundations of her beliefs and pushing through the spectral barriers. Emily, attuned to the subtle energies of the supernatural, let the echoes of her past wash over her. With quiet resolve, she confronted the emotional scars and unresolved memories that bound her, finding strength in acknowledging the vulnerabilities she had long kept hidden. Jake, the thrill-seeker, reveled in the adrenaline-fueled dance with the malevolent force, turning the unknown into a thrilling battleground. Alex, burdened by the weight of leadership, faced the consequences of his choices with unwavering determination. The swirling energies responded to the authenticity of their confrontations, each friend breaking free from the shackles that had bound them to the eternal dance of Hollow Manor. As the friends confronted their innermost shadows, a blinding light enveloped the chamber. The malevolent entity recoiled, its shadowy form dissipating like smoke in the wind. The very fabric of the vortex began to unravel, and the friends felt a weight lifted from their shoulders. The ghostly figure, now bathed in the same ethereal light, spoke one final time. You have shattered the chains that bound you to this haunted dance. The curse is broken. With those words, the swirling energy subsided, and the chamber returned to an eerie stillness. The friends found themselves standing in the heart of Hollow Manor, but the once malevolent atmosphere had transformed. The mansion, no longer bound by the ancient curse, stood silent and dormant. The air was clear, and the ominous symbols on the walls faded into obscurity. The ghostly figure, his spectral form now at peace, nodded in gratitude before fading into the cosmic tapestry. The friends, now free from the supernatural entanglements, made their way through the silent corridors of Hollow Manor, emerging into the moonlit night. As they stepped beyond the rusted gates, the mansion stood as a mere silhouette against the night sky. The secrets that had tormented the cursed family and ensnared the friends within the eternal dance were now relegated to the echoes of the past. The friends, forever changed by their harrowing journey, looked back at Hollow Manor with a mixture of relief and solemn reflection. The haunted house, once a malevolent force, now stood as a testament to their courage and resilience in the face of the unknown. And so, the tale of Hollow Manor concluded, the friends carrying with them the echoes of a supernatural ordeal that would forever bind them in shared memories. As they walked away from the haunted shadows of the past, a new chapter awaited, one filled with the promise of a future unburdened by the malevolence that had once gripped the ancient mansion.